Thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning. We want to get your weekend started with a look at what you can expect in terms of the weather. Let's bring in meteorologist Davis Wells. Davis, good morning. What are we looking at for the weekend ahead?
Good morning. We are actually tracking some rainfall to finally arrive to our area, and that's going to bring some much needed relief as we've been dealing with those very dry conditions. And so what are we tracking here? For Sunday, looking at rain, wind, rainfall even up to an inch, and those wind gusts too, you'll notice even leading into today, we're going to notice those winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour. Could even have a few isolated storms that do have some stronger wind gusts associated with them, upwards of maybe 60 miles an hour. But I think most of the severe threat will actually be quite minimal for us. So let's take a look at weather impacts really even extending into next week. Looking at very warm conditions for today, highs near the low 80s. In fact, a record high was set back in 1950 of 83 degrees. Then for Sunday, that's when that rain and wind looks to move in for most across the region. Then later on this week, actually feeling more like fall as we have that cold front that moves in for Sunday. That's going to really almost be like more of a seasonal reset, getting us back into those fall-like conditions across the area. Even this morning, and really we've been pretty mild to start things off, middle to lower 50s for most. We're going to see this continue to increase as we go throughout the rest of today. Again, warming to near 80 degrees, making it feel much more like summer. Keep in mind our average high is typically about the middle 60s, so we are well ahead of average for us. And radar and satellite is quiet right now, but this will change as we go over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours. We have a cold front that is further off to our west, already kind of sparking some of those showers extending on the coast of Lake Michigan down through Chicago. And this actually extends all the way down into areas of Arkansas where they're actually going to be under the gun for some severe weather for today. Now for us, actually up into Northwest Ohio and even Southeast Michigan, we are under a marginal risk for severe weather. That's a level 1 out of 5. Not looking at a significant threat. I think if anything, we may have a stronger wind gust and some heavier downpours associated with some of those storms that do move on through for later on tonight, mostly though Sunday evening. Then this is kind of a continuation, and this will continue to advance off towards Cleveland and parts of northern Ohio, including areas of Columbus as well. Let's take things hour by hour so we can see what we can expect for the rest of our day. We're actually going to start off with some sunshine, and that will continue to be the case even heading through the lunchtime hours. Now, because we're not going to be dealing with too many clouds in advance, and we've got those very strong winds coming out of the southwest, that's going to help usher in some of that warmer air. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a few isolated showers or storms try to develop along this leading edge. I don't think that they will last too long. It's most of the energy is going to be kept with that cold front that will eventually move on through later on tonight, early tomorrow morning. This is by 8 o'clock. Noticing we're starting to see some heavier pockets start to move into the area. But again, not seeing too much, at least extending through at least just a little past midnight. It's not until early tomorrow morning that we're starting to see more of that persistent, even those heavier pockets of rainfall move on through. By 7 a.m., looks like most throughout our region are going to be experiencing some sort of rain, even those yellows and oranges showing those heavier pockets. And I wouldn't be surprised either if we had a few rumbles of thunder. The good news is, though, the latest weather data does look to have maybe a brief break right around lunchtime for us, kind of helping some of that water finish running off. And then we have the last little batch on the back side here as that low pressure sweeps on through. We're going to have just a little bit more rain to deal with. But by Monday, we're starting to clear out. We'll have those sunny skies overhead, but you're going to also notice those temperatures also dropping quite significantly as well. Wind gusts for today, looking at upwards of 25, maybe 30 miles an hour, I think, for most. Those heavier winds don't look to move in until later on tonight, really more early Sunday morning. Now, keep in mind, we're looking at wind gusts here estimated, I would say up to 40 miles an hour. And sure, we've got some higher wind gusts being estimated here, but my guess is that this is actually trying to pick up on one specific thunderstorm moving on through. So I'm not going to necessarily run with that 50 miles an hour, but that does tell me at least that any of those storms that do manage to become maybe a little bit stronger could have some of those higher wind gusts, maybe upwards of 50, maybe 60 miles an hour, not out of the question. Winds calm down then during that break that we have around lunchtime. And then as the last little bit comes through, we'll see those winds pick back up upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour. Now, the big story, rain totals. That's what we really need for across the area because of the drought conditions we've been dealing with. Right now, I would say up to a ½ inch does seem likely. Maybe some higher totals further off to the north and west into portions near Hillsdale, even Williams County, even Lenawee County, maybe upwards of 1 to maybe even a couple more inches as well. And it really just depends on where those heavier pockets do look to line up. Drought conditions, no surprise here. It's been extremely dry. In fact, most of Northwest Ohio would need at least about 6 inches of rain to actually completely eliminate this drought. So this rainfall that we're expecting to see as we turn into tomorrow morning will be beneficial for many across the area. Many areas under extreme drought that extends from Lucas County down through Wood, Hancock, even points off to the east towards Sandusky and Norwalk, then even extending over into Henry County, out towards Defiance, and then down through portions of Ottawa as well. Let me show you what's going to happen with these temperatures for today, right? We're in the middle to lower 50s right now. Over the next couple hours, we're going to start to see some of that improvement. By about 2 o'clock, we'll be into the lower 80s, but near very warm conditions for us. Maybe a little bit cooler along the lake shore near Port Clinton. Still middle 70s, not bad considering our temperatures should be in the middle to lower 60s for us, but those winds are going to be ripping out of the southwest, upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour, then picking up during the overnight hours as we head into Sunday. What does the next couple of days look like for us? Well, for Saturday, again, looking at that high of low 80s, very mild. Rain later on tonight, then into Sunday. Sunday gets a little interesting here. So the high of 66 degrees, that's actually going to be early in the morning. Temperatures are going to be falling as we go throughout the day as that cold front continues to move on through. You will feel it because that cold front is very strong and we've got a very tight temperature gradient that is going to help contribute for those temperatures dropping, but also those winds that are picking up as well. Wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour do look likely for most of the viewing area, but again, we could have some of those higher wind gusts, especially in those storms that are able to kind of become a little bit stronger, a little more organized as well. Monday, looking at a high of only 62 degrees, partly sunny, scattered showers, then continuing as we head into Tuesday. Look at that, back down into the 50s for our high temperatures. Extended forecast does have us keeping those rain chances through Sunday. Brief break for Monday, but then by Tuesday and Wednesday, I think we have the opportunity for a few areas of some isolated showers to move on in. Notice these highs though. Look, we're going from 82 to 54 degrees for a daytime high by the middle part of this week. I think we do look to dry out then as we head in towards next weekend, getting back into the lower and middle 60s. Then by Monday of the following week, looking to be into the upper 60s. And I think we might have a chance to at a decent shot of rain by the time that we head into Tuesday of next week. But again, big story that we are focusing on right now is going to be the rainfall that we are expecting as we head later on tonight into early Sunday morning. Just to show you too the temperature trend, where we typically should be, we should be right around the middle to lower 60s. And so we are well above as we are looking at a high today of 82 degrees. Then that really starts to drop off, getting us a little bit closer towards seasonable by Sunday, Monday, even then below average for Wednesday, highs only into the middle 50s, around 54 degrees, 56 on Thursday, then starting to get back into those 60s later on for next weekend, and then looking to turn slightly above average as well. And hey, with as much as going to be going on with the rain, the wind, It's important to make sure that you're staying up to date with the latest weather information too. On top of the information that we supply here on air, you can also have it right on your mobile device. You get watches, warnings, advisories. Of course, we've got our interactive radar that you can control, see where things are heading. You get custom forecasts from us directly, and it's also a fantastic way to submit your photos and videos with us. You can share those locations, and then we can actually share those on social media and here on air to help kind of tell the weather story as to what we're seeing out there. You can scan that QR code on your screen. It's also available as a free download in your mobile app store. Sophia, back over to you.
All right, Davis, thank you so much for keeping us up to date with all the weather stuff happening this weekend. It sounds like a big range from hot today back to seasonable temperatures tomorrow. And we want to thank you for joining us. If you're joining us on YouTube, head on over to your TV and download WTOL 11 Plus. It is a free download, and you'll find extended weather content just like this over there. You'll also find in-depth investigative pieces plus exclusive sports content that you won't see anywhere else. So join us over on WTOL 11 Plus. And as Davis said, get that WTOL 11 weather app. Have a great weekend.